going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort, and China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
In its biggest leap since early November, Bitcoin briefly punched above 49,000 at around 12:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Right now, it's not too far below that. It's at $48,540, and that's a gain of about 3.7%. But the digital currency has slumped about 30% over the past 5 weeks after setting a record high of close to 69,000 last month. And while it has been a momentous year for cryptocurrency, from becoming legal tender in El Salvador to banned in China to dodging severe U.S. regulations, one mile marker was missed. Bitcoin hitting 100,000. In November of 2020, crypto superstar Anthony Pompliano of Pomp Investments predicted it would happen this year. He may have been wrong on that, but his 1.3 million Twitter followers and 316,000 YouTube subscribers saw him call what has come to pass: Bitcoin going way more mainstream. Here in a Fox Business exclusive, Anthony joins us with his 2022 crypto world predictions. Pomp, happy holidays. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, Bitcoin 100,000 per coin did not happen. You already made that prediction, didn't come to pass. Go out on a limb if you're ready and call it for 2022, or are you prepared to raise that number even higher for next year?
Well, the first thing I'll say is the year's not over yet. Obviously, there's about 10 days left. What we know is that at the end of the year, Bitcoin usually runs pretty significantly. Last year, it had almost a 50% increase in price. So even if that was to happen this year, unlikely to get to the 100K, but I wouldn't be surprised if we either consolidate kind of sideways or there is some sort of move upwards. So don't say it's over yet, but definitely kind of a big move would have to occur for that to happen. In terms of 2022, I think what we're watching is these bull markets that are historically tied to the Bitcoin halving. That seems to be getting elongated here. And so what I expect is that we continue this bull market that we're in. Bitcoin, obviously, at the last halving was around $8,500 or so, now trading just under 50,000. I think that'll just kind of continue into Q1. I think the big question that a lot of people have across the industry is just how high is that blow off top? Do we see kind of low six-figure Bitcoin or something higher? I don't think anyone actually knows yet, but that's really what I think a lot of people in the industry are paying attention to, is when we kind of get that next second leg of the bull market like we have had in the past, how high does it go? That's anyone's guess at this point.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And I told you that 2022 is definitely going to be a wild ride. We know that America is going to start going through the worst times in American history from 2022 to 2025. But in the crypto space, we know it's for the fourth industrial revolution. We know crypto is not going anywhere. We do not fall for the Hegelian dialectic. We know it's to lead us into the fourth industrial revolution. Robots, algorithms, and drones take over the economy and replace humanity. Plus, we know the dollar, the fiat, is going away. We're going to a cashless society, and cryptos are going to rise. It's going to seem like they're going to die, but no, they're going to rise. We know how the New World Order works. But as we can see, institutional investors have laid the foundation in 2021. 2022, they are ready to roll. Everything is laid. All the piping has been done. Only thing they have to do is get the people. How do they get the people? By waiting for that reaction. We know all these people are out of work, guys. All of them out of work. They quit their jobs. They're not going back to work, people. And we know we have a lot of fast food restaurants that are paying money they never paid before. And with all of this technology, they're riding it on the back of the C word. We see it now. We clearly see what they're actually doing. And I'm going to bring you a video of the tweet I sent out earlier this morning. Because things are getting wild. Things are getting like what? That's right, revelations. We know it's about to be revealed really soon. And that's all the book of Revelations is about, is to reveal a new age. And that is what? The digital age, the fourth industrial revolution. Because we know when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Good morning, Joe. Good to see you. Crypto is about a lot more than just Bitcoin going into next year. I've been talking to some of the top CEOs and investors in the space. Regulation is really the big thing they're watching. There's also a focus on building applications on top of blockchains. Some call that Web3. There's new uses for NFTs. They're looking at Bitcoin adoption and a brain drain, as they call it, from big tech. This year really laid the groundwork in D.C. for crypto, especially with some of those recent hearings. Expect Treasury to pay a little more attention to stable coins and financial stability surrounding those, crypto-specific bills, some updates on a central bank digital currency, and a push for a spot Bitcoin ETF. On Web3, some expect some tension between Silicon Valley companies like Meta and some of the more native crypto startups, which are trying to build decentralized versions of those social networks and their own metaverse. NFTs, meanwhile, are really evolving beyond art into things like club memberships and assets for within video games. So keep an eye on that as well. And heading into next year, there are still questions over which blockchains developers will choose to build on. It's really been Ethereum so far, but some challengers like Solana and Avalanche, for example, are becoming viable options as well. For Bitcoin, keep an eye on sovereign adoption after El Salvador's moves. There's cross-border payments as well through the Lightning Network. And finally, institutional adoption. And about that brain drain, industry CEOs tell me they're seeing floods of job applications from tech companies and from Wall Street.
There's always nuance. I'm trying to figure this out. So it's at 49,000. Wow. Up 66% from January. Nice. Down 30% from November for people who bought. So it totally depends on where you entered, right, Melton? That is volatility, which may subside in 2022, I guess.
Absolutely. First of all, Joe, we got to talk about your chart. We need to update this going into next year. As Kate said, there's a bunch of new layer one blockchains, including Solana, Avalanche, Luna, just to name some that have now made their way into the top 10. We're seeing a sector rotation, and I think we're seeing a big shift in the blockchains that people are building on. But going back to Bitcoin, Bitcoin had 17 weeks of consecutive inflows in structured products. We reached an all-time high of 80 billion in global AUM in those products. And last week, with that volatility, we saw for the first time ever over $140 million in outflows. This week, we're back to seeing inflows. So volatility certainly has been the name of the game this year. But if we zoom out and we look at not only Bitcoin, but the crypto asset class overall, what we've seen is two key trends. One, we started the year at under $1 trillion in market cap, ran up to 3.5, and we're now at around 2.5 trillion of total market cap. So that's a pretty big sector for cryptocurrencies. It's about a third the size of gold as a market. And then in addition, the second trend we've seen is increased financialization. We have institutions who shunned Bitcoin in 2017, 2018, now openly coming out and building Bitcoin products, building crypto investment products, and integrating with crypto markets, which is a pretty exciting trend.
More than 4 million Americans quit their job in October. It's a slight decrease from September, but higher than before the pandemic. And our next guest says that this is not a sign of the Great Resignation. It's rather what he's calling the Great Rethink.
The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.